guy that's getting high on Kensington and Allegheny, but there's an alcohol program right down the street. Mentally, that person is not even going to be able to focus on, that person isn't even going to be able to focus on recovery while they're in that program, because they know if they was to leave, they could get high right down the street. I had a lot of conversations with a lot of individuals that was, once upon a time, had everything that you could ever imagine. Now they're homeless.
Damn, that quick.
Yeah, right back out.
You know anything about Kid Out story?
I know bits and pieces of it. But I cut his hair. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, I cut his hair. I just never recorded because I feel like chew me the fuck up on the gram if I record me cutting his hair. You feel what I'm saying? Anybody else is cool, but cutting his hair, I don't ever record it because I just know it wouldn't even, like, it'd be cool content purposes because like niggas really like tap in, but as far as me getting a bunch of backlash, I already know niggas gonna chew me up, bro. I already know that for sure. So I feel like now, bro, I still do it the same way that I used to do it. Like, I take hits financially because like I got fucked up, bro. Like these gates right here, that was never there. I'ma just pull over up here a little bit. I'ma just stay in the car if that's cool. But them tall gates, they was not there. And people had access to go down there, all of that shit. So when they started it, they knocked everything down from the root, bro, dug everything up. They found a bunch of bodies, they found everything down there, they took all that shit up, and then they put these fences up so nobody could go down there. So that's why that shit empty. But so they could cut their circulation, they literally provide the works.
And they know what they're doing.
Yeah, for sure. They definitely know what they're doing. So like right now, like mind you, we've been rolling with Empowering Cuts is about to be 8 years now. But we turned it into an official nonprofit organization 3 years ago. Willing to donate $50,000. And the reason why they cut was because I didn't have my 501c3. Which 501c3 is tax exempt. So you get a lot of people that donate to nonprofit organizations that have their 501c3 status because it's a tax write-off. Process of transferring our short 501c3 to the long form, because the short, you're only able to raise $50,000 and you can't have no property, no real estate, stuff like that. But with the long, Empowering Cuts is just an organization that provides free haircuts for individuals experiencing homelessness. And it was a vision that started here in Philadelphia, and then we had the opportunity to partner with different nonprofit organizations, and we started traveling the country providing these services to individuals that was currently homeless.
What inspired you to start offering free haircuts to the homeless? And how has the journey impacted your perspective on life?
So my barber instructor, when I was in barber school, he would take the whole class to shelters. That's how I learned how to cut hair. And me being able to provide a free haircut to someone meant more to me than to actually receive money for it.
So to go more into Kensington, what would you say, what holds you to that? And not just to go somewhere in another hood or just go to another city or state even.
Bro, Kensington is where I'm from, like my family, when I was a kid, I remember coming down to Kensington to visit my grandma and visit my aunt. So Kensington was always like my second home. I'm originally from Huntington Park, that's where I'm originally from. And then I moved down to 7th and Diamond, and I tell everybody that's where I was raised at. I was born in Huntington Park, but I was raised down Diamond Street, because everything that I learned as a kid was down Diamond Street. But I always came to Kensington to visit my family. And again, Kensington was my second home. My grandma, my aunt, everybody lived here. And I just feel like don't know, bro. Like, I feel like Kensington got this stigma, right? Whereas though, if you're not from Kensington or you really don't know too much about Kensington, Kensington is a dangerous place to be, which I agree to a certain extent. But it's a lot of beautiful people in Kensington as well, you know? So, like, I get a lot of love when I'm in Kensington. The community loves me when I'm in Kensington. I could come down here to pay a phone bill, and people already asking, yo, bro, you cutting hair? I'm like, nah, bro, I'm not down here for that. So everybody loves me in Kensington, which is why it's just really near and dear to my heart. And it's me giving back to my community where I was, you know, the same streets that I used to run around in when I was a kid, you know? And when I was a kid, Kensington wasn't the way that it was at all, you know? If anybody knew anything about Kensington, one of the most famous things that everybody used to go down Kensington for was the $5 haircuts. You know, everybody, I don't care what part of Philly you was from, everybody was coming to Kensington for the $5 haircuts. And at that time, that was what parents could afford at that time. You know, it was the $5 haircut. So, yeah, man.
Definitely going into that. You ever see yourself, the Empowering Cuts, doing haircuts free for the kids? Or
Yeah, I do a lot of that as well. So I always say, you know, Empowering Cuts is a nonprofit that travels and provides free haircuts for the homeless. But we do a lot of community events. I just had a community event this past Saturday. Today I had a community event, but they canceled. And I do a lot of back to school drives. So my calendar is filled up with a bunch of back to school drives right now, which is just giving back to the kids, you know, and partnering up with reputable organizations that's doing amazing things.
you at the age you at now, what's about 3 things you would tell us?
One thing I would tell myself is try not to impress the wrong crowd. I feel like I was caught up in that for a very long time. I felt like I had to impress people that was so-called my friends. I spent a lot of time in and out of juvenile detention centers around that time because I felt like I had to take up for everybody. So for example, I used to fight battles that didn't even have anything to do with me. It was surrounded around my friend's beef, but since he was my man, that's my beef. You feel me? Like, it was a lot of that going on. Another thing that I would tell myself is, alright, so around that time, I was stealing cars around that time, I was selling drugs around that time, because at a young age, I always felt like I had to fend for myself, right? My mom, she smoked crack, prostitute. My dad smoked crack. First time my mom ever got high was because of my dad. My dad ended up leaving her for dead. My dad, he was a functional addict. My mom, she couldn't function without it, you know? And I felt like just having my dad and not having my mom, it just made things difficult because it was, all my friends had moms. They might not have dads, but they all had moms, you know? And I didn't have that, whereas though I had my dad, but my dad wasn't really a dad either, you know? Because he was out chasing, working, upholding responsibilities, but he was working so much, he still didn't have the financial means to take care of me and my brother at all, you know? So me and my brother had to find a way to make money, you know? First it started from, you know, stealing money out of, you know, my aunt's purse to going shoplifting at, you know, grocery stores to bagging, you know, going to the markets, grabbing groceries for like older folks, helping them take them to the car. At one point in time, bro, we had this scheme we used to do where, you remember the payphones back in the day?
Mm-hmm.
But you remember the payphones, it was 2 types of payphones, bro. It was one payphone where it had the slot, it had the door that you take the change out, and the other one was with the slot that the money just comes straight out, right? You remember that one?
I don't remember that one. I remember the first one.
Right, so the other payphone, it was just a slot inside of the payphone, and we used to grab bags, and we used to cut bags, like the corner of the bags, we used to twist it up, we used to stick it inside the slot. So when people try to get their change back, it gets stuck in the bag. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, that is so,
bro, we had payphones on, bro. We had payphones, bro. We had them on lock, bro. Swear to God, we had them on lock. So we used to cut the bag. We used to stuff them inside of the payphone. So like every other day, we'll go to the payphone with like a little stick, and we'll take the bag out, and all the change used to fall out. So we used to do that shit all the time. We used to do something called the pizza scam, right? Where we lived in a complex. Down 7th and Diamond, we lived in a complex. And we had access to all the houses that people didn't live in. So we'll order pizza dudes to come through. They'll be like, you know, here the pizza, it's so-and-so. We'll close the door on them, run through the back, and go to our crib with like 2-3 boxes of pizza, soda, and all that. And we used to do that, bro, because we really didn't have it. And there was nights, bro, that we really went to sleep hungry. You feel me? Bro, as a kid, bro, it was rough, but I had a lot of fun with childhood friends, you know? So that's definitely, you know, that's definitely another thing. And I would definitely say the third thing would be, honestly, bro, the third thing would be, I don't know, bro, because I feel like impressing people was like top priority to me, you feel me? So like I felt like a lot of things that I did was to impress people that I surrounded myself around, which leads back to the first one that I answered, you feel me? So yeah,
I got to revolve around Kensington. Do you I already asked you, do you ever see yourself see Kensington getting better?
Yeah, for sure.
Obviously, I wanted to stay on that same topic as how did Kensington get so bad in your opinion, or do you know how Kensington got so bad?
For sure. So before the homeless population was on the streets, you always had people that was, you know, that was wandering, that, you know, you always had the homeless population that was there. But we had a section of Kensington that Amtrak trains used to run through there, right? And the homeless population used to stay under there. And that's where everybody was at, literally, bro. It was crazy. They had bodies down there. Everything was down there, bro. It was lit, bro. It was the jungle down there, seriously. Tall trees, so the cops won't see. They end up turning that into a block. Whereas though people started trapping out of there, people started dying down there, people started ODing down there, people started getting killed down there. So eventually it got the attention of Dr. Oz, Dr. Phil, and all of them. They ended up coming down. They did a segment on that part, which the way that they thought they was going to clean it up was by putting up these tall gates, blocking it off, cutting all the trees down.
And what year was this?
This was about probably 10 years ago, bro.
Yeah.
Yes, probably 9-10 years ago. They put these tall gates up, they cut all the trees down, and they evacuated everybody from the tracks, and that's when everybody came on to the streets. So then we had the encampments. I don't know if you remember, we had the encampments on Lehigh. We had the encampment on Kensington and Lehigh, Emerald and Lehigh, and Frankfort and Lehigh. That was crazy. Once that happened, that was like that for a couple of months, close to a year. That was like that. The cops, the only solution was, listen, we got to get them from here. They ended up putting up these signs where it's those like, listen, y'all got a 30-day notice. If y'all don't leave here by 30 days, we're going to consider this trespassing. And y'all trespass, y'all getting locked up. So that's when the encampments went from Lehigh throughout the whole Kensington, which is why it's the way that it is. Yeah, bro. When I first started cutting hair, that's when the encampments was on Lehigh. That was right before they evacuated everybody from the tracks.
and put them all
And
put 'em
put
on
'em-
the street.
Yeah, put
That
them
just-
on. Mind you,
that
they
just
was
blew-
always in the street.
and they just
But they
blew
was
from there.
they was always in the street, bro. But they was in a hidden area, whereas though the community couldn't see the homeless population due to them being down there. You know?
Okay, so around the time, what made it how it is now? Like, what was that time period like? Damn, now it's just like it's
They
just
kept
all
on-
out. It's just
So they
it's
kicked
still-
everybody out from Lehigh.
Yeah.
They kept on kicking people out from places, and it just spread, bro, from Lehigh all the way down Kensington. You feel me? So like now, bro, it's crazy, bro, because you literally got people everywhere. And the crazy part about it, bro, is that a majority of the individuals that's homeless in Philadelphia is individuals that's not from Philly. We get people that's from everywhere else, bro, because we have one of the largest train lines. So we got
Yeah.
people pouring in from everywhere, you know? You got people from different parts of the country. You got people from different, bro, from everywhere.
So going into when you were saying people pulling from everywhere, and from what you were talking about earlier, you said how people would come into Kensington, not even from Philly, and trying to record or trying to get media. How do you feel about that? How people not even from Philly would try to pour in and get their own little publicity.
I get why they're doing it, but again, right, I always feel some type of way because it's people that's not giving back to the community that's doing that, right? Me, I do my little content and all of that, but I feel like I done put in the reps and I done put in the time to do that, and everybody knows me down there, you know? And I service these same people and I provide haircuts to these people, so these people love me, you know? It's like they family, you know? So as far as outsiders coming in doing it, depending on what the purpose is, sometimes I got a problem with it for sure.
Big things to really inspire you and keep pushing you forward toward your dreams and goals that you're doing now.
I give a lot of appreciation, bro, to my barber instructor, Mr. Howard, because my barber instructor, Mr. Howard, he's the one that gave me the vision, you know? When I was in barber school, he would take us to shelters. And again, just like I said in the beginning, me being able to provide a free haircut to someone meant more to me than to actually receive money for it. So he's the one that opened up that vision, and I just took it to a whole nother level, you know? So I'll definitely give a shout out to him. Shout out to Darren. Darren, he's a barber that's been cutting with me for a long time since I first started. He's the one that taught me everything that I know, you know? Darren, all of the organizations that I deal with, Citywide Mental Health, The Block Gives Back. It's so many, bro. It's countless people. You know, it's countless people that support Empowering Cuts. It's countless people that support everything that I got going on, bro. So it's nearly impossible for me to name everybody.
Do you have a donation page or any ways somebody can provide?
Yeah, so if anybody's interested in donating, you could go to www.empoweringcuts.org. My Instagram is Empowering Cuts as well. Facebook is Empowering Cuts. TikTok Empowering Cuts. Twitter Empowering Cuts. Everything is Empowering Cuts, man. So if you guys are interested in donating, just click on the website, donate directly through the website, and every donation is appreciated, and it goes right back into the community. You know, it goes into the haircuts. It helps us with the upkeep of the mobile barbershop and everything on that aspect. You know?
The mobile home. How did you get started with that?
So during the pandemic, we had a vision of purchasing an RV and converting the RV. We brought the RV for $2,000, so that was the cheapest thing that we did. We purchased the RV for $2,000, and then we wanted to come up with a GoFundMe, but we didn't know how that GoFundMe was gonna go due to the pandemic. You know, we ended up taking a risk. We launched the GoFundMe that same day. We brought in close to $10,000 in cash donations. I don't mean like through GoFundMe. I mean like me going to people's houses, picked up close to $10,000 just straight cash, bro, from people that wanted to donate. We surpassed our goal. Our original goal was to raise $20,000. We surpassed that super fast. Our end goal, we end up surpassing that. We end up raising $120,000 through GoFundMe, so we can convert this RV into a fully furnished mobile barbershop. Our goal with the mobile barbershop was to, convert the RV into a barbershop that was comfortable for these individuals when they come in here. Not only are they getting a haircut, but they feel comfortable. It's like their safe space. So up to date now, we have this 32-foot mobile barbershop that's equipped with 2 barber chairs, a shampoo bowl, a bathroom, a lounge area. The lounge area has a couch, it has a refrigerator, it has a coffee maker, it has a TV, and everything. It's literally like a house on wheels, Everybody that comes in there is like, man, I could live in here, So everybody loves the mobile barbershop. Every single haircut that's provided out of this mobile barbershop is free. You never charge anyone for a haircut out of this mobile barbershop. Yeah, so that's just a little.
Would you ever take your mobile barbershop and just go from state to state cutting hair?
It's too big, bro.
Yeah.
I wish I could, but I drive it myself. And driving it through the city, bro, I'd be super scared that I'd be about to crash because it's just so big. You feel me?
Yeah.
So I probably wouldn't take it to like if I gotta go to Jersey, to New York, places like that that's local, 2-hour drive, I'll do that. But I think one of our next goals is to downsize. We're gonna keep the RV, but I do want to downsize to like a Sprinter van, but turn it into a luxury barbershop and travel with that and be able to provide free haircuts out of that for sure. Because that's something that's more attainable than me driving a 32-foot RV,
Okay. And so with the RV, would ever be a set location they will ever find you at? Or a storefront?
Yeah, so
Empire Cuts right there.
Right. So as far as the RVs, the RV definitely is always on the move. Is always situated at different locations. But one of our next goals also is definitely to, open up a storefront where it'll be Empowering Cuts headquarters for sure, So it'll be a lot of volunteering out of there, as well as a lot of haircuts and a bunch of other stuff. It'll be like a resource center for the homeless community,
And go more into the GoFundMe. You said, what really gave you the idea for GoFundMe?
We didn't have no money. That was the only way. That was the only thing at that time that I was able to think about.
Did you see it actually working?
No.
No?
Not at all, bro. Not at all. But what I ended up doing was I ended up building connections with people at GoFundMe. Me and everybody at GoFundMe like this now,
Mm-hmm.
But I ended up building connections with people at GoFundMe, and I started to learn, all right, cool, I'm cool with this person. So they end up making me a GoFundMe hero of a certain month. And then when that happened, they end up email blasting all of their donors, letting all their donors know, hey, listen, we have this campaign that's wrapped around this guy that's trying to turn the RV into a mobile barbershop for the homeless. So a lot of people supported me off of that. I was on the news multiple times. That helped me out. Nightly news, NBC Nightly News, which is a worldwide, that. So it was a lot of networking and a lot of me reaching out to certain people. Because one gem that I'll give a lot of people, right? When it comes to social media, a majority of the time, we worry about the amount of followers that people have. I don't care if you're trying to reach out to a celebrity. You don't never pay attention to the amount of followers that person has. Pay attention. So when it comes to reaching out to celebrities on social media, you don't ever worry about the amount of followers they have. You worry about the people that they follow. Because the people that they follow, that's the people that you can get in contact with that could potentially get in contact with that person that you're trying to reach out to. So that's literally what I do every time, bro. I don't care who I want to get in contact with. I'm getting in contact with that person somehow, some way, bro. Every single time, because I use that method, bro. Seriously, I want to get in contact with anybody, bro. That's who I get in contact with, bro. I don't care who it is, bro.
So what made you not just say fuck it and just get a 9 to 5, and just be that person?
Bro, I had 2 jobs. I had 2 jobs in my life. One job was at a cookie factory. It lasted till lunch break. I ended up leaving. My second job was construction through a union. I worked that one full day. After that, it didn't work for me. So me having a job, it just never really felt. It just never really felt right that it was somebody telling me what to do. You know, that was just me though. I don't knock it. You know, for me, it just never worked for me. After that, I started my own landscaping business. That failed. I started my car wash business. That failed. And you know, in between all of that, I was selling drugs. I was getting money. I got locked up. I sat down for 15 months, came home, and I told myself when I came home, let me do something right for the first time. And I ended up enrolling into barber school, which is why I say all the time, that's what changed my life forever, you know?
So you get more into that, you going to barber school and how that changed your life? What would you say how that changed?
Yeah, so I say that barber school changed my life because, again, prior to me enrolling into barber school, I was living a crazy life. Barber school, I was going to school in Wilmington, Delaware. Me just traveling to Wilmington, Delaware on a train was something that I never did. I never been out of Philadelphia. So me traveling to Wilmington, Delaware just to go to school, it gave me a different perspective on the way that people was thinking and a different perspective outside of Philadelphia, you know? So that changed my perspective a little bit, as well as the people that I was surrounding myself around in barber school. You know, they all wanted to see me do good. We all encouraged each other, cheered each other on when it came to haircuts and stuff like that. So my surroundings in barber school really played a big part. You know?
So I wanted to ask also too was the R&B. What made you choose the R&B over just a stationary shop?
Yeah.
And just making that free for people to come out?
Yeah, so again, when I graduated barber schools, a lot of nonprofit organizations that was flying me out to different parts, of like the different parts, different states. There was a lot of nonprofit organizations that was flying me to different states, and I just couldn't see myself situated, just stationed somewhere, because I already had the experience of traveling, providing these haircuts, and I loved that feeling of just being able to, go out to Atlanta and just pull over anywhere and just give someone a haircut. And people look at me like I'm crazy, like, what is this guy doing, Or San Francisco. San Francisco, bro, was one of the craziest experiences because the part of San Francisco that I was at, it was close to Silicon Valley. Everybody there is rich, bro. Everybody. So nobody got regular cars. People driving McLarens, Rolls Royces, Lambos, Porsches, bunch of exotic stuff. But the homeless community there is insane, bro. So that was mind blowing to me because here in Philly, you don't experience that in Philly. You feel me? Like here in Philly, you got people that's homeless here in Philly, but you got people that's living in houses that's not too far behind, that's a paycheck behind being homeless. So experiencing that in San Francisco was just totally different. It's like, damn, like y'all got all these foreigns parked outside, then y'all got somebody that's homeless sleeping right next to a $500,000 car. You feel what I'm saying? So it was just a different experience. But experiencing all of these different things while traveling was the idea of us coming up with these mobile barbershops so we can travel and provide these services,
Will it be safe to say that some of them people in San Francisco that you see homeless around a $500,000 car, in your opinion, were they some of the people who probably went bankrupt?
Yes, for sure, bro. I had plenty of conversations with a lot of people that had money at one point in time that is homeless, For example, in Vegas, bro, I done had conversations with people that claim to be, millionaires at one point in time. But if you had $1 million here in Philly and you blow $1 million, people will consider you a fucking dickhead, bro. if you spend $1 million in Vegas, that shit'll go like this. And I say that because you gambling, you spending, I don't care, bro. You tricking out there, cause they super bad out there, bro. So you gambling, you tricking out there, and the cost of living is just crazy. This one guy that I'm talking about, he said, bro, I spent my money so fast on tricking, on gambling, on staying in different hotels, on food, on clothes, bags for whoever I'm dealing with. That $1 million went fast. You know? So, yeah, bro, I had a lot of conversations with a lot of individuals that was once upon a time had everything that you could ever imagine. Now they're homeless. Or I have conversations with a lot of people that come from great backgrounds, good families, that's now homeless, you know, and a lot of it stems from the opiate addiction. We talking about somebody that gets into a car crash, they start taking Percocets that's prescribed from a doctor, right? It starts at Perc 10s, your tolerance go to Perc 15s, Perc 15s, Perc 30s. After Perc 30s, that's like the ceiling of Percs, Perc 30s. So now you spending $25 on a pill, sometimes $30 on a pill, and it's not getting you as high as you once used to get due to your tolerance. You end up going broke, and now you notice that a $5 bag of dope will do the same thing that a $30 perk will do. And you find a lot of people down here because of that as well, you know? So it just all depends, bro. You get a lot of people that's down here for different reasons. There's some people that's down here due to addiction. There's some people that's down here because they just down and bad. The other day I had a conversation with somebody, 35 years old. First time this person ever started getting high was at the age of 9. And the first person this person ever got high with was with their mom. So the person that they thought was going to guide them through life the right way, that was the person that started getting high with them at the age of 9. And the first drug that that person ever touched was heroin. So at the age of 9, shooting heroin or snorting heroin, however they were doing heroin at that time, I'm looking at the person 35, but they don't look 35. They look like they're 55 or 65. And it's just sad because that 35-year-old, he don't know no better at all. You know, he just don't. He just don't know any better. So you get a lot of people that have this, you know, perspective on people. Hey man, you get the homeless community, they get a lot of backlash, right? Whereas though if they are panhandling, people will simply say, get a job, fucking bum, all of this other stuff, a stereotype, right? We're gonna call it a stereotype, not knowing what that person actually been through. You know? That person been through some shit that got them to where they at today. And unfortunately they're out down and bad, but the most beautifulest people that I ever met in my entire life. I trust these people more than I trust people that have been around me for years.
And bro, that I would feel the same way, bro. That's crazy. That's really crazy.
But that's what I mean, bro. Like,
really
bro,
crazy.
It's something as simple, right, as me giving somebody a haircut, right? Me grabbing their head, spraying alcohol afterwards, putting water on a rag, cleaning their face with my hand, getting all the dirt off their scalp, all the dirt off of their face. That shit means so much to them, bro. You feel me? Because again, right, like, I do for others the way that I would want somebody to do for me. I say that all the time. That's how I live my life every single day. I do for others the way that I would want somebody to do for me. If I was ever homeless, I would want somebody to give me a free haircut. If I was ever out, down, and bad, I would want somebody to maneuver for me the way that I would maneuver for them. It's just that simple, bro. You feel me? Like, that's what I would want. So, honestly, bro, that's just how I live my life every single day.
And I got a question. So, with the homelessness, do you ever see that ever coming to an end one day?
Homelessness?
Yeah, homelessness. Never. You ever see it being fixed in Philly? To a point is, okay, it's not really something we should be worried about?
Right now, probably not.
What is an alternative solution to homelessness? What can we do to not have people who can't afford housing, what can we do with them instead of them having to be on the street?
It depends on where you at. And I say that because the majority of the homeless population in Philly, and we talking about in Kensington, the majority of the homeless population in Kensington are people that's not homeless due to housing issues at all. It's because of addiction. You know? If they was to clean up, they got places that they could all go. They got families that fucking got so much, you feel me? Like, you just got a lot of people that's down there that don't come from the same background that we come from at all, you know? So I don't think in Kensington it has anything to do with housing, to be honest. I think it's more of like, you know, treatment, you know? So like, Empowering Cuts, we're partnered up with a lot of drug and alcohol facilities, right? Inpatient and outpatient. Because if these individuals want the help right after they get a haircut, we're able to get these individuals the help that they're actually asking for. And we're partnered up with some of the best programs in the city, you know? We're not sending people to a facility. If I'm cutting hair on Kensington and Allegheny, I'm not sending someone to a facility on Tulip and Allegheny. It just don't make sense, right? I'm sending that person 2 hours away somewhere that that person isn't familiar with, so that person could get their mind right and actually focus on recovery. Because a lot of these programs in Philly, honestly, and I'm not shaming any of these drug and alcohol programs, but I feel a lot of them are in it because of the financial means. They're not really in it because of the passion behind it, you know? And I say that because if you got somebody that's getting high on Kensington and Allegheny, but there's a fucking drug and alcohol program right down the street, mentally, that person is not even going to be able to focus on, you know, that person isn't even going to be able to focus on recovery while they're in that program, because they know if they was to leave, they could get high right down the street, you know? So we place these individuals in these programs that's 2 hours, 3 hours away, because we know that that's what they need. We also promise these individuals before they go, that we take them shopping, we take them to go get clothes, we take them to go get all their hygiene stuff, because we understand that while you're at that program, you need to feel comfortable, you know, not only with the haircut, but you want clothes, you want hygiene stuff. You don't want to feel like a bum, right? So it's just a lot that goes into it, you know. We could be here for 2 to 3 more hours, man. Seriously, you really can. But
no, facts. And I seen even your videos that you took some people out, you actually brought clothes for them, and
so that
basically made their day, bro.
Yeah, so that's called that shit over. Damn, they started that joke, right?
Yeah, let that shit sit for a little while.
Facts.
Yeah, let it sit for like 5 more minutes.
So you got that shit get? No. Yeah.
They started that joint like a dirt bike. It's real rap.
Yeah, man.
I was doing something called 7 Random Acts of Kindness. 7 Random Acts of Kindness, it's this thing where we go around for 7 days and we bless 7 individuals. And our thing is, how can we bless somebody without physically giving them cash? So we'll drive around, we'll ask somebody, hey man, we're doing something called 7 Random Acts of Kindness. How can I bless you without physically giving you cash? And people will literally say, man, a conversation is cool. I'm like, bro, I raised funds for this. I need you to spend some of this money. So you get people that ask for clothes. You get people that ask for cell phones so they can stay in contact with family. You get people that ask for, you know, hotels and just so they can be out of the street for a day or 2. You get people that ask for, you know, a lot of cool stuff, you know. And I'm glad that we're able to raise the funds within 7 days so we can make that happen every single time, you know. 7 Random Acts of Kindness is really near and dear to my heart. I got a lot of relations that I built with a lot of beautiful people due to that. I haven't done it in quite some time. I haven't, nor have I even been on social media that much lately. I've just been worried about a lot of the back end stuff that's happening with Empowering Cuts right now and trying to take it to the next level.
So speaking of that, what's next for Empowering Cuts?
What's next for Empowering Cuts? That's a good question. I would definitely say right now we're in the process of building a stronger board for the organization, as well as shopping around for a storefront so we can have a headquarters for Empowering Cuts.
And lastly, you hear the saying, my city needs something. What do Philly need, in your opinion?
So much, honestly, so much. We could use a lot of help from a lot of people, to be honest. That's a difficult question, bro. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I don't even know how to answer that because it's so many areas that we need help with, you know? When it comes to the homelessness, when it comes to gun violence, when it comes to, you know, just at-risk youth in general, that's a whole different subject, you know? I try not to tap in too much of that because that's not even, that is a demographic that I do service, but I try to more stay on like the homeless side, you know? And try to attack that because, bro, Philly needs a lot of help. Philly needs a lot of help. And it starts with us, though. You know, it starts with the community. It starts with the community getting together and serving these that need the help. You know, it's not just the homeless. It's, you know, kids out here that's wilding. It's kids that at 13, 12 years old feel that they need a gun. You know, it's kids that feel that selling drugs is the way out because they see other people out here that's getting it. It's, you know, kids out here that's being influenced by drill music. It's, bro, it's just so much, bro. It's parents out here that isn't parenting the right way or think that the way that they parenting is the right way, but it's really not. Bro, it's so much, you know, so that's just really a hard question for me to answer, bro. I ain't even gonna lie to you, bro. That's difficult. I never thought of that. I never thought of that, bro. It's just so many areas that we need help with for sure.